This is The Fifth Estate, a conversation between young African scholars from the Fort Hall School of Government and Professor Mutahi Nguni. This Sunday, we want to appeal to Raila Odinga to withdraw his Supreme Court petition. And we have two reasons. One, God has rejected Raila, and he has rejected him 4 times. At least this is what our grandmothers tell us. If this is true, no institution on earth can reverse the rejection of God. Even if the Supreme Court votes in favor of Raila, the people will reject him for a 5th time. What more evidence does he need? 2, this petition is a trap. And as our Sunday school teachers taught us, the first voice is always the voice of God. The first voice that told Raila not to go to court was the right voice. He should have followed it. If IEBC declared Raila a loser, the international observers declared Raila a loser, the last thing you want is for the Supreme Court to declare Raila a loser. This will confirm that Raila is a loser once and for all. And maybe this is what the sharks in NASA want.
Raila is condemned to the myth of Sisyphus. And this election has proved our theory right for the 4th time. In this myth, Sisyphus annoyed the gods and was punished to roll a heavy stone up a hill all day. And just before it settled at the peak, the heavy stone would snap and roll back down. Sisyphus was condemned to roll the stone up the hill again. And so at the top, it would snap and roll back down just like before. And this is the curse of Raila Odinga. For 4 times now, he has rolled the stone up Presidency Hill. But just before he gets to the top, the gods have snapped the stone and taken Raila back to ground zero. It is a curse. If the Supreme Court rules in favor of Raila, therefore, this will not change the fate of the gods. It will only subject Raila to a 5th round of painful rejection. And you can take this to the bank. Our advice to Raila, therefore, is to groom one of his children the same way Jaramogi groomed him. And if he does not, the NASA sharks will disinherit him and his children after the petition.
Now we will flip the argument. Maybe Raila should soldier on to the dead end, whatever that end is. And maybe we should not persuade him otherwise. Maybe he has an appointment with destiny, and destiny is waiting to sort him out. And this is why we should let him be. We say this because a man is not judged by what he starts, he is judged by what he finishes. History will not judge Raila by looking at what he started. History will judge Raila by looking at what he finished. And he cannot finish this race by retreating to Bondo with his tail between his legs like a coward. As Roger Stone taught us, a man is not defeated when he loses. He is only defeated when he quits. If this teaching is true, Raila must not quit, he must fight to the bitter end. However, he must choose his battles. If the Supreme Court allows him to fight for the presidency for the 5th time, he will lose. And this is because the gods have rejected him. His best bet is to defend the ideological dynasty created by his father. Then he will win.
If Kenyans have rejected Raila 4 times, then we must conclude that this is the voice of God. We must conclude that God has rejected Raila 4 times. And if this is true, no institution on earth can reverse this rejection. It is over for Raila, in my view. And if the Supreme Court gives Raila victory, we will reject him again for the 5th time. And this rejection will be fatal. It will be final. We must remind Raila that the gods make blind those they wish to destroy. And if he has lost elections 4 times and he remains blind to the patterns, it is because the gods want to destroy him. The long and short of this is simple. It is over for Raila. Anything he does will only lead to his destruction, in my view. And whatever direction the Supreme Court case takes, Raila will be destroyed. But I need to make one more observation here. It is about what Raila calls thieves. In my view, thieves cannot steal from you in the first election, steal from you in the second election, steal from you in the third election, and steal in the fourth election. And if this happens, the thieves are either very clever or you're either very dumb. So in my view, this thief story is not selling. He should kill it. The thieves of elections, that is.
As a young law student, I have many questions about the Supreme Court petition, and I will pose them since questions tell us more than answers do. 1. What happens if Uhuru wins in this petition? And the answer is nothing. We will just swear him in on September 12th. Then life will continue as usual. 2. What happens if Raila wins in this petition? And the answer is nothing. He will run for the 5th time and lose. Then he will stop disturbing the country. In sum, the Supreme Court ruling will not change anything. It will not take us forward, it will not take us backwards. It is just there, a waste of national imagination. But I have a final question. Last time I checked, the Raila petition was to be determined by only 4 judges out of 7. If any of the 4 judges vote for Raila or Uhuru, the decision is final. And here is my final question. How can 4 people who are not angels from heaven overturn the will of 45 million people? How can 4 judges who are not even elected have so much power? Is this right? I don't think so. We must change this constitution.
And now our final thought. Civil society in Kenya is an appendage of Raila Odinga. Period. They claim to have the mandate of the people. But how they acquired this mandate is unclear. How they renew the mandate is unknown. How they account for the money raised on behalf of the poor is a secret. They are just an elite club of sinners, making a living out of the misery of the poor. And this is why we should investigate this sector. But attempts to do so have led to accusations that Uhuru has become a dictator. Our question to the nation is this: what is wrong with being called a dictator? More so if the people calling you a dictator have been deregistered because of questionable activities. According to Niccolo Machiavelli, is it better to be loved or to be feared? Answering this question, Machiavelli told us that if people love you, they control you. If they fear you, you control them. In our view, therefore, Uhuru should take pride in being called a dictator. More so if he has earned this title because of deregistering NGOs with questionable activities. This is better than being called